Okay. All right. So we're live. There really was only one trade so far, and that was WeBuy. WeBuy had 7 o'clock a.m. WeBuy Global Partners with Victory Securities Pioneer Stablecoin Adoption. So WeBuy, that was at 7 o'clock. So it's right here. So we got a pop. This is 30-second chart. We had a pullback right. We had a pullback right here, and the volume was kind of drying up, and we had a little inside bar right there. And then once we did this break up here on this bar that was above the VWAP, this bar right here, we break at 1236, and you got all the way up to about around 1397. It was very short trade, very short. You had to be very quick to get that. But when WeBuy popped up on the Arval scanner, it popped up and you had to be very quickly to get in and out. That is the only one so far today. And you could have gotten yourself, if you got in right here at like 1236, at 1336, if you were good enough to sell right here. But once we popped this, we're thinking we were going to make a run. The MACD is separated, but we kind of stalled out when you started coming back down. You had to be very quick to get in and out to make anything. 7:30. We might get some news that comes out at 7:30. RSLS at 34,000 volume. There's really nothing there. Go back to a 1 minute. Really nothing there. RSLS, earlier it popped up, but we had those topping tails right there. Earlier it popped up right here, but we had a big topping tail, so there was no reason to get in on that. Then it started going below the VWAP. See here we have topping tails. You want to stay out of it. A 5 minute, you had an inside bar, but kind of ran up. LRZ, that is trading below the session VWAP. I mean, MACD is curling back up, so wanted to play the break of that, you could. 73, you got 3 cents so far. 3 got 5 cents. A spread of a penny. Problem is this light volume. There's not enough volume to really get in and out. I need to start looking for you start looking for swing trades. RZ. Find any of that. No group that. Got Apple. The problem about swing trading right now is everything seems so high. Everything seems so high. We got PLRZ 82,000 volume. So if you bought on the break of that right there, kind of pulled up, pulled back, and then the break of this, $1.73. So far, it's ran up to $1.80. So it made itself a little bit of money. It's just kind of light volume. MACD's curling up, which is fine. But if we look here on the pre-market movers, really the only thing with volume is PLRZ, and there's no news catalyst. We have DALN with news. Dallas News Corporation confirms receipt of unsolicited, non-binding acquisition proposal from M&G Enterprises. We got PLRZ 71,000. That's really the only one. We have costs. There's nothing there. Got a 5-minute with a huge wick right there. See, there's nothing here. You got a huge wick right here. I mean, it popped up on the RVOL scanner. It popped up. Problem with it is that, yeah, we got big volume. Popped up 130,000 volume, which, yeah, we've got big volume here. Opened up, popped up, and then just sold right back off. There's big volume right there. So that's not good. Got nothing coming in. Pulse had big volume, but then it dropped immediately. That's not anything you really want to look for. So let's take a look at what we have. If we go to financial juice, about sits like 744. What we can do is we can just uh, look at the SPY. 5 minute looks like it could be rolling over. Financial juice. Why is that? There we go. AT&T earnings call at 8:30. So AT&T, the earnings call uh, of Google's. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at this. At 8:30, 8:30 we have AT&T. AT&T at 8:30 we have earnings call. We have T-Mobile mobile at 4:30. We have Google at 4:30. Have IMB, touch that. Have Tesla Tesla at 5:30. So AT&T, AT&T. Of AT&T earnings call at 8:30. At AT&T. Yeah, AT&T is selling off. Like, yeah, so AT&T is selling off because at 8:30 we've got earnings call, and what I'm thinking about is we could possibly try to get some on these earnings calls. This is what I like to do sometimes for the blue chips. For companies that I like is when they have earnings call, is I just like to play the earnings. They're blue chip companies or companies that I've bought and sold with before. I have 18, 8:30. Got T-Mobile. And get some more coffee. Alrighty. Alrighty. 30. Got 30 minutes. Yeah, there's not much going on this morning. Earnings season. Everybody's after the big boys. Well, we got 8 o'clock, a few minutes before 8 o'clock before we get the news. EALN news, we buy news, LVLU got news, but there's nothing going on. Looking at Google, Google has 4:30 T-Mobile, 4:30 earnings, Google 4:30 earnings, and Tesla 5:30 earnings. LTRN, got LTRN, popped up on Arval scanner, spread of about 5 cents. Change of 21%. $4.90. We hit 5, yeah. We probably tried to get 5.25. Yep, we got 5.25 on that. You had to be quick with that. There's trying to push it back down. Got a big tail on that. Yeah, so if you would have gotten in on that 5, you got yourself 5.25, but you had to be very quick with that. Look at a 15-second chart and see what's. So if you got the break of that 5, you had to be quick. You got a break of that 5, it ran up to 5.25, so you easily got 10-20 cents out of that. But you had to be quick with your hotkeys on that. We got LTRN. Yeah, we still got big volume coming in, but they're pushing it down now. LTRN, there's no catalyst on that. LTRN 31% change. "30-second candle." It had over 100,000 volume on a 30-second candle. Normal volume is like 0. It's just 0. Yesterday we had a run on LTRN. Like 4.25 to 5.25. It was like a nice dollar run on that. Right now they're just pushing it back down. I mean, that's a 5-minute. I'm sorry. Yeah, on the daily, yeah, it's, as you can see here, on a daily, we were breaking the 5, breaking that high right there, 480. And once we get to a whole number of 5, you can go, you want to look for 5.25. If you're breaking 5.25, you can look for 5.5, and then right up here, try to get 6. But that's how you play those. When I said if we go to 5, you can get 5.25, and we did pretty quickly, but you had to be extremely quick. We got SONM, SONM, SONM. Let's take a look at the 5-minute on that. That's a pretty big tail on that. I wouldn't even touch that, to be honest. RVYL. RVYL. Again, we got a 5-minute tail on that. There's not enough volume in that thing. I mean, change of 8%. We got SONM, change of 6%. When you're looking at these RVOL movers, you really need to be over 10%. I mean, you really need to be up here. Like LTRN, the reason it popped, if we look at a 30-second, LTRN started showing up on the scanner. If we look at a 1-minute, it showed up on the scanner because there were 140,000, 36,000 volume, but then there's nothing. So it popped up on the scanner, and this is a 1-minute, and you had a slight pullback here, and if you broke this candle right here, that hammer candle at 493, you were looking at $5. And when you break $5, when you break that whole number, you're looking for 5.25, and we got 5.25. But as soon as we got 5.25, it just slammed right back down. So you had to be quick. That's why you want to jump down to like a 30-second chart and try to look at this and be like, okay. But the thing is, we had a topping tail right here on the 30-second, so you knew that there were sellers pushing this thing down. But as soon as you break that 5, you get 5.25. Now, as soon as you break 5, you want to make sure you are quick on the trigger to take your profits once you reach this high, and probably sell half, and then if you come back down to 5, you got to get out. You got to look at the level 2 on that as well. The level 2 you really got to look at. Now, ENVB. No, ENVB. ENVB, there's nothing here. I don't like this. Big 5-minute topping tail. 5-minute topping tail. Stay away from that. We got 8:30. We got AT&T earnings. Call it 8:30. ENVB. Which one were LTRN? LTRN. LTRN. Take a look at RN. Time was that? That was at 59. BOXL. 16%, but see anything. Take a look at it daily. Yeah. I had a nice run on January 6th. Had a nice little pop on January 6th, and that was about it. Got a reverse split on that. Um, Last night I was working on getting the streaming data, and I think I'll have that done in the next week. Got nothing moving, PLRZ. The only thing we had was the LTRN. The LTRN, you had to be extremely quick with that. We had the MACD was opening up. We had a little inset bar right there. We had another bar right there, inset bar, but didn't break the, well, we did break the low of that, not the high, but you could have got in on 493 starter. Or break the 5, you could add to it and then get out at 5.25, but it went right to 5.25, went up to 531. So yeah, you had to be very quick with that to even get anything. At 811, 830 is AT&T earnings. Yeah, even if you look at 15-second, it was 15 seconds that thing came up. You only had like you probably just had seconds to just get in and get out. That's really hard to play. WALD has news, 11 million float. Walden Cast acquires Vista Corp and U.S. rights to leading injectables. Okay, yeah. RMSG as the leader. RMSG. RMSG. Not type. Daily. 5 minute. 5 minute. We had a nice run up and then it. Nothing. There's nothing there. We got the 1 minute. There's nothing here. RMSG. There's nothing. RNAZ. 28%, but there's really nothing there. There's no volume. PLRZ. There's no volume on that either. That had a pop and then it kind of fizzled out. Got BOXL, which there's nothing there either. Then you have DALN at 15.5% gain, but that's dead. Well, $8.17. We got T-Mobile coming out. Earnings. 10 minutes, 10 minutes AT&T earnings. Uh, okay, we got earnings coming out in about 7 minutes for AT&T. We've got nothing moving. Well, we got AGRI, 156,000 volume. GRI. AGRI, if we go to a 30-second chart, have a topping tail in the 5 minutes, so it's not really popping that much. $0.85 stock, which is not a problem. No, they're liquid. 138,000, 140,000, 16,000. Yeah, there's just not much. Yeah, I would not do that just because if you look at this, it has a huge topping tail, and that just means they're just pushing it down. That's AGRI. They're just pushing it down. I mean, if you were able to get in right here, that was good. 85.15 to like 89, so that would have been good. I was in the bathroom. I don't know. AGRI has news. AGRI has news. HR4 strengthens visions for digital treasury with strategic fintech MOU. We don't have, if you look at the time of sales, we don't have a flood of buying coming in, but it's slowly grinding up. AGRI is just slowly grinding up. AGRI has got a 2.8 million float. We've already traded 1.7 million. As you can see up here, 1.7 million we've already traded. We've already ran from 87 to 92, so this is good. That's AGRI with news. News hit at 8 o'clock. So it took a while for them to pick it up. See what the 1 minute looks like. So AGRI, I mean, we had news like down in here, really didn't pick up. So traders just wanted to just pick this one and run with it. So we had some volume coming in. That's why it popped up on the R ball. And then we have right here, well, I guess it picked up on the R ball. I just saw the 150 some thousand volume when pre-market when I came back to the desk. When I came back to the desk, I just saw AGRI. It was like 150 some thousand volume. So because I had to go get some, had to do something and come back to the desk. But AGRI popped, and if we look at the 30-second, that's why you need to set up your hotkeys and be quick with this. So news came out at 8. AGRI 4 strengthens visions for digital treasury with strategic fintech U. Now, if we look back here at 8 o'clock, there was really nothing going on with it. I mean, that was 8:15 and nothing really going on with it. At 8:20, traders decided, or these institutions decided to run with it. So at a 1 minute and then jump down to a 30-second, you're seeing the sell-off. The one thing I didn't like is the 5-minute topping tail right here. But once you broke this little consolidation area, looks like it have a little small hammer right there at 87, and then it runs up to 90, 92. This is why you need to set up your hotkeys, because if you get in on the break of this at 87, 86, and you're trying to look for the high of 93.08, you're going to have to set up your hotkeys to get in and out of this pretty quickly. And the volume is there. You got 210,000, 108,000, 300,000. But then as soon as it broke this area right here, as soon as it broke that low, well, right up here, this big red candle, if you got in here, you need to start taking some off of here. You want to sell into these pops. You need to start taking some off right there. And then once you see the tape here, when you see the tape coming in with sellers hitting the bid, then you want to, and it breaks that low, you need to get out, because as you can see here, it is definitely selling off. So it just runs up and it sells off, and that's what these big whale traders, institutions do. I don't know how much the institutions trade these low float. I mean, I consider this a low float penny stock. I mean, AGRI is just a low float penny stock to me. Do I trade these stocks? Yeah. This scanner, I think, is scanning for 75 cents and above. But that's why you have to set in these set your hotkeys, because you get in at like 87.72, get out like at 90, 91, and you get yourself 3 cents. But I know a lot of people say, well, 3 cents is not a lot, but if you're going in with like 10,000 shares, let's say you even go in with 5,000 shares times, let's say it's 0.87, that's $4,350. 5,000 shares with a 3 cents is $150. With interactive brokers, you're yeah, you pay commission, but let's say 5,000 shares. If you come over here and let's say you do 5,000 shares, you get 0.03, you get 3 cents. That's $150. So you have to pony up about $4,000 to get into the trade. And with Interactive Brokers, I think with IBKR Pro, you're paying 0.005 commission or something like that. I believe that's it. I mean, that's a $25 commission, but that is using the platform here. You're getting direct access. This is not uh, price action flow for the order. So, yeah. And if we look up IBKR, let's look up Interactive Brokers. Now they're looking to change. I'm on top of this. They're looking to change the PDT rule, the pattern day trading rule. They're looking to change that. Decades ago, during the dot-com bust, they put in this PDT rule of you have to have $25,000 in order to day trade. Well, as of yesterday, they're looking to get rid of that and only have it to $2,000, which I think is fantastic because people with the PDT rule, you can only make 3 round trips a week. You have NITO that popped up on RVol. 18%. I don't think it's too much. Switch over to the 1 minute. Yeah, there's nothing there. But the PDT rule states that you can you have to have $25,000 in order to not have that rule of 3 round trips per week. So if you buy and sell the same day, that's one. You're going to do it 3 times a week. And what people are doing is they're just switching over the futures. I mean, I'll be honest, I switched over to futures. When I was, I've been a software engineer for over 15 years. So once I started building up an account and started saving money, then I started trading. Then I got into day trading futures. And because, hey, futures, it didn't have the PDT rule. I didn't want to put $25,000 into a day trading account. I wanted to max out my IRA. So that's what I did. But now I do have 25,000, so I don't have to worry about it. But they're going to change the rule to 2,000, hopefully. I guess they're voting on it or doing something, but I'll keep everybody updated on that. But yeah, you had to be quick on that trade there. We got PPBT with news, Purple Biotech CEO issues letter. Shareholders highlight pipeline progress and clinical milestone. Nothing there. But yeah, Nitto, there's nothing there on Nitto. TRN. AGRI. AGRI, you had to be quick with that. At 825.8. That was 835. And T-Mobile came out with earnings, so Take a look at the 1 minute. There's really much there. Got AMOD with 76,000 volume. T-Mobile is really not doing, not T-Mobile, AT&T, not really doing anything. They have AMOD. That's it. OD. That's not really doing anything. Got a little bit of volume coming in. Let's go to a 30-second. So, yeah. AMOD, we had a little pop on that, and then it ran up to $140, $160, but really can't play that. That didn't show up on the RVOL scanner. You break 148, you probably get 158, 48. Stop would be at 137. $148. Yeah. That's a little. There we go. Can you get 158? Can you get 10 cents? 156, 157. People, we got some on the ass. We got it. Okay. So that was I was AMOD. You got 10 cents on that. The volume is definitely there. You got 186,000 volume. When I was looking at AMOD, it doesn't have a catalyst, but it's that 30% change. It just updated at 389,000 volume. I mean, you definitely want to be out by now. But we had the 5 minute right here. We had nothing going on. There's absolutely nothing going on. Let's look at a daily. Daily, see, there's nothing here. It has these pops and drops, pop, and then right there it has a pop. So what I'm looking at, like right now we got a lot of buying coming in. This candle updates in real time with interactive brokers with Trader Workstation. So what I was looking at, let's take a look at this. I'm at a 30-second chart. So when I was looking at it, I was looking at it at a 1 minute, like right here. So it popped up right up in this area. So then I jumped down to a 30-second chart. You jump down to a 30-second chart. Now it's updating because we're getting volume in there. But 147, 148, you had a pullback here. It was below the session VWAP. The volume was there, but then we had this candle here. This is more of like an indecision candle, like a spinning top. And then I was looking at the time and sales in level 2 at 148. If it's going to break at 148, your stop would be at 136. That's close to about 10-cent stop. You're looking for the high there of 160. So once you get up here and you've entered at, let's say, 147, the spread's like a penny, so that's a good spread. You get, let's say you entered at 148, you can come up here up to 158, and then you should definitely be getting out, start scaling out into this little pop. You got volume, you got 186,000 volume, you got 400,000 volume right there. AMOD has traded 2.6 million so far on this session. So you definitely had volume. You don't try to get the tippy top here. Get in at 148, and if you got 158, you got yourself 10 cents. You can sell half and move to a break even. As this starts moving down, as this red candle starts moving down, yeah, you just get out. And then you're done with the play completely. You don't double dip unless it's really strong with a catalyst, and this is not really strong with the catalyst. So I didn't see this. It didn't show up on my radar right here. Right here is when it showed up, started showing up. So we got in around here and we try to get this pop right here. Try to get this pop. Now, if you're looking at a 1 minute, you'll see that we have these topping tails. That means they're pushing it down. They're trying to push it down. And if you look at the ticker here, the time and sales, yeah, it's kind of hard to see. I'd like it if Interactive Broker had it so where it could actually, yeah, see, now we have a nice break. We have a nice little doji right there. Little inside bar, we break that of 158. Now you're up to 168. But then again, we have a tail coming in, so you definitely want to be taking some, getting out. That's why you need to set up hotkeys. And we go back over here to Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers. Let's take a look at this. So I'm looking at the volume here, and the volume updates in real time for every tick here with Trader Workstation. We got this volume that's higher, so that is definitely pushing. Got T-Mobile, not T-Mobile, AT&T. AT&T came out with earnings. AT&T 8:30 earnings. Then we have T-Mobile. T-Mobile at 4:30. Then we have Google earnings at 4:30. We have Tesla earnings at 5:30. So AMOD is definitely AMOD is definitely a good trade. Like I was saying, with the PDT rule, SEC is taking a look at it. They're looking to lower it from 25,000 down to 2,000. So then you won't be restricted only 3 round trips, 3-day trades per week if you have over $2,000. It's not settled yet, but I'm keeping an eye on it. That will definitely be good for a lot of people. I think it's kind of dangerous because a lot of people, they'll take $25,000, they'll sell stuff, they'll take money out of their retirement, and they'll try to get that PDT rule to try to scalp and day trade. Then they end up blowing crap up, and that's just not good. So, and plus, people like me, when I first started out, I switched to futures. I didn't want to take any money out of my IRA and try to day trade. I just switched to futures. So yeah, the PDT rule, they're looking to lower it down to 2,000, which will be fantastic. And when they do that, interactive brokers will uh, update the only where you only have to have 2,000, and then I'll start looking to do like a small account challenge. You can see here, right here, as you can see the volume coming in on this volume candle with Trader Workstation. Right now we got more buying than selling. This is more of, if you understand what delta is, that's basically what you're looking at. You got more buying than selling. Um, once that red bar and that volume starts climbing up, yeah. So now we got some buying coming in. You look at the common sales, the ticker here. You might not be able to see it, but there's green dots that show there's buyers coming in. Also, you can look at the level 2. We got 10,190, but I don't think it's going to get there. We got 4,198, $2 break. So if you're looking at a $2 break, you could be looking at 2.25. That will probably be the next stop. If it can get there, it'll try and push it to 2.25. AMOD is 899,000, 56% change. We got 5 million float, and we've already, and if you look at the volume here on the session, we've already traded 8.3 million. You got a 5 million float. That means it is exchanging hands, and people are basically round tripping this. That 5 million float is already exchanged one time over. If you got this pop and it goes below right here to 175, I mean, right now the VWAP is 173. If it gets close to 175 with some volume, that would be a sign to get out. So if we look at the 5 minute, we're making higher highs. I pushed an update to the server, and the TZ score is not showing up, so I'm going to have to fix that. We have an inside bar right there, and if you got in on the break of 204, got in at 205. It looks like it can try and push it up to 215, and then you can start taking profit. But if you got in on the break of this bar right here at 202, that's good. At 205 with the 2-bar break of the high, that's fine. The stop would be down here at 192. But if you got 215, you got a pop. You can keep holding. We got the volume. Looks like the volume is a little bit drying up, not much. Got bids at 220, about 10K at 220 on the ask. People start hitting it, we could push up to 230. Yeah, we got some massive volume on this. We got 1 million volume, a float of 5 million, and we're on a 1 minute chart, and you've already got a million. When you're in a trade like this, you can switch to a 30-second chart, and you can really start drilling down. Uh, this is a micro pullback. This is a micro pullback right here. So you can get in on the break of that and get on a $2 break, and you're already at 220. So now that we've jumped down to a 30-second chart, and it looks like it's starting to come down. So if you're in like here or down here, start taking it because the volume is starting to come in. You got the MACD that's rolling over. So they could be done with this, or they could just have a pullback and run some more. So right here, we have pre-market movers and RVOL and the press releases. Then we got low float, top traded, biggest gainers. Now, I made an update to the TZ score right here, this column. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this column, and then I'm going to have another button down here called like trade alerts or I can't say trade ideas because there's a scanner called trade ideas. So do maybe like trade alerts or something. And what that's going to do is that button, when you click on it, it's going to have like a window here. And what it's going to do is going to look for the score if something's like 375 or a 5. 5 is the highest, but 375 or above, and it has 50,000 volume, then what's going to happen is that it's going to update. It's going to update that window. So I'm going to be working on that this week as well. So I should have that done. Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to use this scanner that really don't care about my trading plan in the scoring system that I give stuff. If it's an A plus setup, if it's an A setup, an A plus setup, they just trade their own plan. So that's what I'm going to have here. Is another one. And that'll be good for beginner traders to take a look at, because I'm anticipating if they remove this PDT rule of 25,000, that I'll get a lot of people looking for this scan. So far, the trades we had LTRN. LTRN wasn't all that good. We had a little trade here on LTRN. Then AGRI. Had AGRI. AGRI was pretty good. Top right here. Kind of pulled back. Get in right here. 87. Move up to 92. And then we had AMOD, which is the biggest one. We had a nice little AMOD. Had a nice little grind up. I had a slight pullback with indecision right there. We had a break of this. We had another slight pullback right here, micro pullback with the break of 204 up to 224. That's at 20 cents. I don't know what the daily looks like. The daily is right here, so yeah, starting to come up against resistance right up in here, 2.25. So you have AT&T that had earnings, and they just kind of grinding sideways here. Nothing really going on. All right, so it's 9 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we have U.S. existing home sales at 10 o'clock. 10:30, we have crude oil inventories. At 1 o'clock, White House, Leavitt speaks. And then we have T-Mobile earnings for T-Mobile, Google, IMB, and Tesla after hours. XTIA, we have XTIA. There's nothing there. Yeah, we got Amon that's just doing its thing. We had a run up, we had a micro pullback, we had a break of 198, and then we ran up to 211 up here, ran all the way up 223. So if you got in at 198, looking for a break of 2, we got the break of 2 up to 210. Definitely be at 210. You got yourself 10 cents profit. Start scaling out, and of course it came right back down. And we had a pullback here. If you got in at 207, ran up to 214. So got 8 money 844, like 26 million traded so far. As you can see right here, 26 million, 27 million traded so far. We got a float of 5 million. That's like changed hands like 5 times. They definitely ran that. Yeah, we definitely got Amon running this morning. Don't know. Oh my word. Piedmont is rolling over. We look at the 5 minute, we had higher highs, and that was the way to go. But as we started at 850, right around in here at 850, run is kind of over. You had another one right here that you could have got in, but not much. But this is what you are looking to get into right here. A nice run at inset bar. I mean, I'm sorry, not inside bar. We had a run. We had a micro pullback. The volume was kind of high for a pullback. We had a break of that. We had an inside bar right here at 848, and you could have gotten in on the break of that at 205 and ran it up to like 215. Get yourself 10 cents. 10 cents on 1,000 shares, you got yourself $100. 10,000 shares, you got quite a bit. And this is definitely moving because you got like 1.2 million shares. I mean, so you can, very highly liquid, very easy to get in and out of. That's what you're looking for. And then that was at 850. And 850, we're right here. We're moving up. At 850, we're moving up. Now, I mean, MACD is starting to kind of roll back over, but I'm looking for how I can do the studies on this. Add study. I don't want to add a study. I kind of want to do kind of want to do like an anchored VWAP. I don't know if they have any trend studies. Volatility study, volume studies. Moving volume weighted average price. Have the VWAP, volume weighted average price. No anchored VWAP for this. All studies. I'm not sure if they have or VWAP. No, they just have intraday volume and moving volume weighted average. So yeah, got some coming back down off support, but it's below the session VWAP. The play's over. You got a nice move. You have to move on. It's 9:16. So the TZ score is working. Because right here we have 2.5. So yeah. So what I did was I looked at the code and I noticed there was something different about it. Now we have DALN. If we look at DALN, if we look at that, that's above that. Yeah, so it's somewhat working. It's 2.5. TZ score is 2.5. That's kind of no, you're looking for 375 or 5. That's what you're looking for a TZ score. You're looking for 375 or 5. There's nothing there. OGH, we got news, but that's not even moving. Our reports positive initial mineralogy results from lines, and so there's 10%. When you're looking to scalp this stuff, you're looking for like at least the top four movers. The top four movers, we had AMOD. That made a move. We had RNAZ. That didn't move. That didn't do anything. We had it way back here. We had a move at around 720. We had a move. But if we go down back to 720, and that really didn't do anything. So that's like nothing. What was that? And then we had PLRZ. PLRZ, yeah. We had PLRZ. There's really nothing there. Yeah, there's just not enough volume in there. They had it right here at 447, but yeah, most people are sleeping. We had we had KOSS, KO, K, KOSS. That popped around 8 o'clock. Joined at NDRA. That's not really doing much. Looks like it can move on the 5-minute, but yeah, break 782, but it's like 919, too close to the open. We're getting ready to open, so I really wouldn't touch anything. Wait until we open. We got not two. T-Mobile earnings come out at 4:30. AT&T. Have AT&T earnings that came out. Now, there's really nothing there. Okay, we have KOSS that has a T-score of 5, but the volume is low at 8,000. KOSS. We've got the MACD that's moving up. We're above the session VWAP. And also another criteria that I'm looking at is that in the past 15 minutes that the anchored VWAP for the past 15 minutes, that the price is trading above the past 15-minute anchored VWAP. That's what's going to show up here. But nothing's moved. T-Mobile had earnings, and it looks like they're selling off a little bit early at 9:30. So, whoops. T-Mobile. Not T-Mobile, AT&T. AT&T. But let's take a look at A-Mod. Take a look at A-Mod. I'm going to bring up the top traded and the biggest gainers. I'm going to update that. Market's going to be open up. It's 9:29. The market opens up in about 15 seconds. It's going to take a couple minutes for them to update. This is the top traded. Get rid of the press release. Move that down here. This over here. Top traded and biggest movers. It'll take a while for them to get updated. Let me put that down here. AT&T is definitely off. AT&T going off a little bit. Have top traded gainers. We gotta go look at that. T-Mobile, not T-Mobile, AT&T. Let's start taking a look at this. GPRO. 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 There's really nothing there. The TZ score, there's nothing there, but we got GPRO. We got news on GPRO. We got meet the new meme stock, Krispy Kreme, blah, blah, blah. There's no news there. Shorted Krispy, okay, whatever. There's really no news there. Let's take a look at FLWS. FLWS. The 5 minutes looking good. I got 827. Got a spread of 6 cents. FLWS is float of 54 million. I got DNUT, DNUT. That's selling off. IOVA. Then we got RZLV. RZLV. Float of 79 million. That popped, and then it got a 2 cent spread. That popped, I mean, RZLV, I think we looked at that earlier. 19%, 79, no, we didn't, because that is down to low floater in the mornings. We've got AT&T that's looking pretty decent. AT&T had earnings at 8:30. That's looking pretty decent. So let's take a look at something else. AT&T is looking somewhat decent. We got KOSS. We got our vol mover on KOSS. PLNE. Played that earlier in the week. If you look at the 5 minute, it's got a huge topping tail. KOSS. You played KOSS. Yeah. Look at the 30-second. Had to pull back to the VWAP. We had an inside bar right there. Had to break it. If you got in at, like, let's say 741, you're at 793. You can hit $8. It's going to push to $8, I'm pretty sure. Come on, let's push to 8. No, think so. There we go. We got 805. There we go. KOSS, that's good. KOSS on the 5 minute, you got higher lows. So that's still in play. Okay, now we got top traded gainers. It only took like 5 minutes for it to show up. There we got APVX. We got ABVX. ABVX. I don't see anything there. Got GPRO. That's top traded. Big volume, but it's selling with big volume. Got DNUT. Selling. Got OFAL. Floated VWAP. ANEB with news. Below the VWAP. IOAV. IOAVA. Got PLRZ that hit the RVOL scanner. If it breaks up to 191, you could get a run to 195, but that's only 5 cents. And I'm not really seeing them because what I like to see is a push down and have maybe this candle push it up immediately. Not sit there and grind like that. Could be consolidating and then do a breakout of 190 to 195, and you hope to get to $2, but I just don't see it. We got big red volume coming in. I mean, that's big volume coming in. Got 55,000 volume, and it's on the selling side. That's exactly what I was worried about. When you actually have a sell-off right here, if it doesn't break immediately, it needs to break immediately for continuation. We got buyers coming in. I mean, if it can hit 191 with volume, they've got 195. There you go. So it did break that. You're in at 190 and you got 195. Got had to break 190. You got 195. Possibly start looking to take some off the table and go back to a break even. If it breaks 197, we can. I'm pretty sure we can get to 2, but right now it's just taking a while. Got the volume that's coming in. We got 2. There we go. Got 207, 208, 210. at PLRZ. So what I like to do when you got a run like that, you jump down to a 15-second chart. Start going down to a 15-second chart, then you can start seeing got in right here on this break right here of 191. Have support at 2. You want it if it comes down to 2, you want it to hold that $2 hold mark. If it was me, I've already been getting out right up in here, taking some, and then as soon as it broke the 205, completely out. You don't hold these hoping for a massive run. You just don't hold them. You've got ABVX. PLRZ is done for. You got MKZR on RVOL scanner. Yeah, easily had 10 cents on that. PLRZ showed up again. You got the zoos, NKTR. So if you want to go to the zoo, that was really nothing there. NKTR, 56,000 volume, not much there. It needs to be, I mean, this scanner scans for over 50,000 volume, but I like to see like PLRZ, 1.4 million. That is what you want to see, is stuff like that. PLRZ. I just have it to 50K just to throw it up on the scanner. It looks like my AT&T buying on the weakness is paying off. Bought some AT&T on some weakness. That's paying off for me. Matter of fact, you got PLR, you got the Zeus P, you got MKZR. Look at this. PALI is PALI. PALI, you've got 120,000 volume, RVOL of 6. That's 15-second candles. Let's jump over to a 1 minute. PALRI. It showed up like right up in here. You had a micro pullback. It definitely showed up right up in here. PALI. It was on the list. So PALI, we had push up and we had a micro pullback right here. Volume kind of drowned up. The MACD is open. Get in at 105 and you got up to 115, so you got yourself 10-cent profit. The 5 minute is making higher lows, but right here we got a topping tail on the last 5 minutes, so you might want to, yep, exactly. That's why you get out when you get out. That's T-Mobile, YHC, 97,000 volume, EPRO. EPRO, we got a slight pullback on a 1 minute, so you can drop down to a 30-second, 15-second. I possibly wouldn't get it just because, yeah, we had a pullback. Now, if we have a break of 612, we can probably get to 620. All right, we're at 614. Let's see if we can get to 620. But the one thing I don't like about this is the volume right up in here. The volume right up in here is pretty high. Selling volume is pretty high. So if you get in at 611, your stop's at 602. So, I mean, what are you looking for? You're looking for 620, 625 up here. Then a break of that you could get in. But the one thing I don't like about it is the high volume right there. That volume on the bar is kind of high, that volume right there. So, and plus you got a 5-cent spread. I mean, you got a 4-cent spread, but yet you got high volume and you're not looking too good because you had a pullback with high volume right there. And what is your upside? If you get in, let's say you get in at 610, your upside's, let's say 620, 625, but you got like a 2-cent spread now, but before you had a 5-cent spread. So, I mean, it has to move quite a bit just to get back to the spread. That's why I just don't like it. And also it's consolidating right now. It could do a breakout, but who knows? PLRZ. That's just sitting there grinding. We got T-Mobile. I'm not T-Mobile. I keep saying T-Mobile, but it's AT&T. AT&T is looking good. Um, Run a 30-second chart on that. Drop down to a 1 minute. See, we had earnings here, and I started buying some down in here, and then we got green on it. Took a little bit off. Now we had a little pullback. Had a break of this. Now we're up pretty good. $27.11. You got 1,000 on the bid at $27.11. You got 50. Yeah, you got quite a bit. 1,300, 1,400. I'm going to be looking, take probably a little bit more off here pretty soon. But AT&T is looking good. We got a 15-minute candle. I'm looking at 15. Yeah. Uh, Take a look at this. This is the 15-minute candle. So I bought down here, bought a little bit more down in here, and now we're up on the 15-minute. So what I'm looking at is probably up here in the 27.5, 27.50. If we can get that, that'll be awesome. But who knows? We might not. Get 27.25, you might take a little bit more. Now, this was an earnings play. I know most of the channels with these low float pre-market gappers and stuff. But what I like to do is I do like to look at the blue chips, the S&P 500 and the NAS 100. We got ZOOZ that hit the RVOL scanner, 174,000 RVOL of 8 MKZR, 1 million. You got RVOL of 7.5. Take a look at this, ZOOZ. That's the zoos. You want to go to the zoo. Well, if you went to the zoo, you had a break of 250, and now you ran up to $3. You got to sell 50 cents. If we look at MKZR, that is nothing. That's a stinker. You got the zoos that's pushing. You jump down to a 15-second chart. A 15-second chart. Right here is when the MACD was starting to open back up. You had a break of that. So this right here, you had a tail that kind of pushed down, but then you had a break of the high at 281, and you could have ran it up to 291. That's 70,000 shares, so it could be a little hard to get in and out of if you're a big player. We've got not T-Mobile, AT&T. T-Mobile's coming out at 4:30 after hours with some earnings. What I'm looking for is to take more profits. Get back up to 27 and a quarter. That'll be good. We got 27.15, 27.13, 27.12 on the ask, 27.11, 27.10. Yeah. It'd take a little bit more off for me. And the 5-minute on AT&T is still looking decent. I mean, if we could break the 27.20 with some volume, that would be good. You probably get yourself 27.30, get yourself about another 10 cents on AT&T. We got Pally, RGC showed up. We have PALI, Pally. Pally is a no-go. That's below the VWAP. Look at the 5-minute. 5-minute is just crushing it. You'd be crazy to get into that play. We got RGC. RGC, that is a nice looking play. RGC, that's $18 stock. I don't know about that. Plus we already had a run. It's starting to sell off. RGC, not sure exactly when that showed up. Maybe down in here. I'm not sure. I was paying attention to AT&T. But I wouldn't touch RGC right now. I wouldn't touch it at all. For one, look at the 5-minute. We got a topping tail that's forming on the current 5-minute. We got the 1-minute that sold off with huge volume. So you need to stay away from that. Go back to AT&T. AT&T's still grinding. If we can break this right here, 27.20 with volume, probably get to the high here of 27.20. We'll probably get 27. We can probably break it if we can keep moving. The only problem is the 5 minutes is the 5-minute is kind of drying up. RGC I'd stay away from. Zoos, RGC, stay away from RGC. That's a crapper. The 5-minute on AT&T is looks like it's trying to put in a doji. We got about another minute and a half. Looks like it's trying to put a doji. Did not make higher high. Still above the previous low of the 5-minute, which is good. We got volume coming into AT&T. At 10 o'clock, we've got at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, U.S. existing home sales at 10 o'clock. We got news at 10 o'clock. Oh, we got some volume, AT&T, but selling volume. Seven fifteen 1,000, 712 60. Yeah. In about 5 minutes, we've got existing home sales in 5 minutes. We have AT&T. Looks like we're trying to make a run and make a break. If we can break that 20, if we can get 2720, we probably go to the high of 2728. The 5 minutes making higher highs. If you look at that 5 minute, that's pretty decent, but the volume's drying up. Come on, 2725. Can you go 2730? If we break 2728, we can come on 2728. We got 26. We got 27. 28. 27. 14. We got 29. We got a break of 30. We got 30. 2730. Got 32. At 32, you got 1800. 33. AT&T, you're a blessing. AT&T, you are good to go. I had a little bit of a loser this morning. AT&T, you digging me out. Uh-oh. 2650 got almost. If we can get 2750, that'll be $1 for AT&T. And the funny thing is, I dumped AT&T on my cell phone. I went to T-Mobile. Okay, taking a little bit. The T-Mobile earnings are coming out at 4:30 after hours. We got nothing on Arval scanner. We got IBVX. We got a score of that, but we got 55 million float. ABVX. ABVX. I mean that's ABVX. ABVX. The only way you could have played that is you have the MACD that opened up. The MACD opened up. You had a little run right there. You had a break of 67.97. A break of 68, and you ran up to 60. And so you had a break of 68 and a quarter. You ran up 69 and a quarter. You could have got $1. You have the account for that. You make $250, buy 1,000 shares. Of course, that'll be $68,000. But yeah, if not, just go in a little bit lighter. That's ABVX. ABVX. ANEB has got news. Got a change of 74%. ANEB, Anabolo Pharmaceutical, approves plan to terminate registration of its common stock. Okay. Go. That's ANEB. ANEB. Yeah. Got When did that news hit? That news hit at 8 o'clock, but A and AB it didn't start moving until later. And yeah, 8 o'clock. Yeah, it popped and blah blah blah. Uh, MACD came down. Now it's curling back up. So get a break of 27.37. That would be decent. You got some volume past 15 second. Let's this is a little bit too fast for uh AT&T. Let's go to a 1 minute. 1 minute MACD is flatlining. MACD is flatlining on the 1 minute. So yeah, this plate might be over, but it dug me out of a hole. That's all I care about. When I got in that hole this morning, I went back to my play. RILY showed up. RVOL scanner Zoos is showing up even more. Still showing AT&T. Let's flip over to the RILY. RILY. There's nothing there. I don't like that. We have Zoos. Zoos is pretty nice. We had a pop right here. Now this is a little hard to play, but we had volume coming in right here. We had a wick down, but we broke that area. That's like it's kind of like a hangman candlestick, 284, and we ran up to $3. So yeah, I mean, you could have played this area right here. This is where the hangman started. Kind of right here, we had inside bar. We had that right there, doji, another doji there. Could have gotten in on a 2-bar break of that at 272, get to 290. That could have been pretty decent with 164,000 volume. That's on the Zoos. AT&T, I need to go back to that. AT&T, AT&T is still looking decent. IOTR, 70,000, RVOL 16. Stay away from that. Nothing there. UGRO, stay away from that. Below the session VWAP. Go back to AT&T. AT&T is just grinding sideways, making higher highs as it grinds and breaks. That's the problem with these blue chips. Very, very, very large float, and they just grind and grind and grind. But you can make some moves at 2650. 2650, I'm in at 27 and a quarter. So that's, I mean, at 1,000 shares, yeah, that's roughly $27,000. If you don't have the account for that, you can go in 100 shares at $2,700, 2650 if you want to be exact. And then you can just get yourself 50 bucks, 100 bucks, 75, 50, 75, 100 bucks. Just have to work with your account and slowly grind it up. And trading the pre-market on those low floaters, you got to be extremely, extremely careful with that. If you're not an experienced trader, you're not using hotkeys, and you don't know what you're doing, you better be day trading because you will get slaughtered. Hmm. 1004, we had existing home sales that came out. If you were taking a look at that, EU economic sentiment of employment expectations, that's the Eurozone. U.S. existing home sales, looks like it was down 3.9 mil. I flipped over from using TradingView charts on Interactive Brokers back to its Interactive Brokers old charts. You have a charting system here. You have like, it's called advanced charts. I don't know. But I switched over back to their old charting system because the TradingView charting system would lock up. It was a little crazy. It wouldn't update, it would just like kind of freeze. So I went back to the oldie but goodie. Okay, here's the deal. If we break 27, I need to be out. If we break 27, 30, 37, just going to stay in, let it ride. MACD's rolling over on the backside now, as Ross Cameron says. But if you look at a 5 minute, we had a run up and we had a micro pullback on a 5 minute, and the volume is kind of low on that pullback. That's why I'm thinking, you know, if we break 27, I'm going to be out. But I'm just holding, waiting. We got AT&F. AT&F showed up, 80,000 volume, 16 R vol. AT&F. AT&F. That looks halfway decent. Let's look at the 30-second. The thing about this, if you break 27.72, you can get up to 27, maybe 280. Break 280, you can probably go to 3. Problem with this is that it's just light volume, so AT&F, I just stay away. The TZ score, there's really nothing showing up. I had to do an update on that. 2730 on AT&T. AT&T looks like 2730. Come on, push it. I did an update on the TZ score system. Update on the TZ score system. 33, we got 34, we got 32. I'm looking at the ask. We got 33. Got, oh man, come on. Don't be breaking the 30. 26, yeah. We got 27.18. If you break 27.18 on that, you probably go back down. I mean, you got a low of 27.14. Actually, if we break 27.14, yeah. Let's see what the low floaters are doing. We got PLRZ, we got some low float CTOR, we got cost RNAZ, LIMN. Got a little bit of volume on those. The Zoo's got nice volume. PLRZ got nice volume. Wonder what PLRZ is doing. PLRZ, I mean, you had, what did I do? PLRZ. Okay, PLRZ. It probably popped up here. Yeah, and you could have played the breaks. This 198 to 2 to 210. Get yourself a little bit of profit. $1 million volume, million volume. Get a break of the high there, but we kind of pulled back. Had an inside bar right there. Get 204, run up to 210. Yeah, these are just small plays. Had a nice big volume right there, big huge volume. MACD starting to curl back up. It had a break of that of 2.25. Tried to get to 2.5, but it just couldn't do it. Oh well. Got 27.31 on AT&T. Yeah, if it can break 38, I think that'll be good. We got a high of 27.37. If we break 27.37 with some volume, we could get up there. Hopefully we can get up to 27.5. So the reason I did this is because I got an YYAE. YYAE is not really doing it. YYAE. YYAE showed up, but I don't think there's really anything there. Not enough volume, stay away. There's no volume in that, stay away. Uh, go back to AT&T. Got some nice volume on that. It's slowly grinding. That's the thing with these blue chip mega floats. Maybe I should nickname them mega float. They got mega floaters. Don't call them blue chips, call them mega floaters. So started position here on AT&T, kind of ran down. I started averaging down, got up to 26.50 right here, and then I'm already up. So those pump and dumps, I cut my losses quickly, but on plays like this, like AT&T, good company, uh, solid fundamentals, I have no problems averaging down on earnings if it dumps. I just have no problems with it. For one, it's a mega float. It's a blue chip. I have no problems with that. You might have a problem, and you have to do you. Do not listen to me. I'm not a financial advisor. Trade at your own risk. All I'm here for is to help you with the Ticker Zcan. To sit there and find some stocks. VICR is 375. What's that? VICR 375 on VICR. Below the session VWAP. This is, yeah. I just stay away from VICR. Of GPRO. GP 2734 on AT&T. GPRO, we had a nice run with that. GPRO, we had a nice run up. We had a micro pullback. You had a hammer candle, break of the hammer. Let's say 239. You ran up to 245, 247. So yeah, you can get yourself a little over 5 cents on that. But the problem is this stop right here. Stop is down here. Get in at 238. The stop is down 2. So you got a 10-cent stop, but you definitely didn't hit your stop, and you kind of ran up. You probably could have taken a little bit of profit, pulled back, uh, add to the position right there. Micro pullback, add to the position, got up, and then Add a little flag right there, a little bold flag, and the break of that you can add to it and just kind of get out. That's how you have to play those. WKH, WKHS, WKHS. It's a 1 minute candle. Let's take a look at a 30-second. The 5 minute making higher lows. That's good. It's setting up on a bull flag. A break of 223 would be good. The problem is the volume is not there. You look at this volume. You got 28,000. You got 30, 80,000. It's just not there. The volume's not there. Plus, you got the volume of the selling, so stay away from that. If it kicks in, and the volume kicks in, and we're green volume, then yeah, in the break of 223, you could probably look for a push. But I do not. There we go. Got some volume coming in. MACD is kind of flatlining though. We had a micro pullback here with the volume dried up. We got 220, but we only got a high of 222. You only got 2 cents. So this is kind of hard to get in. WKHS. All right, stay away from that. Let's take a look at what okay, so T-Mobile is back down, kind of selling off prior to earnings at 4:30. We need to go back to AT&T. AT&T, I need to probably think about cutting this. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with AT&T. We can move on to the next earnings. Done with AT&T. I made my money. Got in at 26.5 and got myself a nice little run. So I'm done. Move on. Let's go. AT&T. Got TMUS, T-Mobile, TMUS. We got T-Mobile. We got TMUS. TMUS. That is selling off. Mobile is selling off. Look at the daily. So yeah, probably get down to 226. Setting up my order entry. So T-Mobile, we're selling off. 225. I'm not going to play this until later. Let's take a look at ABVX. ABVX on a 30-second. That's jump over to a 1 minute. We had a pullback here. A break of that would have been nice. 64.80, 66.80. You got yourself $2. ABVX. Biggest gainers. And this is what Take a look at this. There. Act. Vault. Size. Get a couple of these. Okay, get out of there. Do this. I don't care about you. Setting some charts up on X. ANEB. PPRO is right below the VWAP though. The play was definitely at 838 here. 930 we opened up, but this was the play. Have a mod. A mod when it broke this area right here, that was 06 to back D was opening up. It's 1023. ABVX, BVX, ABVX. 5 minutes, pretty nice. That's the daily. 5 minutes. Need to do, take this over here. That can be a daily. Daily, and then take a new window here. Start this. 5 minutes. Oh, 4 over. 5 minute, we just kind of grind sideways, so I really wouldn't think about touching that. We had a nice sell-off right here to the VWAP. That was at like around 10 o'clock. Around 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, we had a big, huge red candle, so I wouldn't even touch that. But you could have done and got in on that. But this area is what you want to play. From like 925, when it opened up, that's what you want to play. This. See a bullish engulfing candle, stay away. When I talk about bullish engulfing, opened up and closed, bullish engulfing right here, it engulfs this. Open higher than the close, and the close here is higher than open, so it's kind of, it engulfs this candle. That's a bullish engulfing. A bearish candle. PALI showed up at 200,000. Cent spread. Jump to a 30-second. Got locked. Whoa. Stay away from PALI. Massive selling volume. Massive. MACD's rolling over. It's getting ready to, it touched the VWAP. You could have played a bounce off the VWAP for a few cents, but that is a little, that's too much for me. PALI definitely showed up on the RVOL movers, but it was massive selling on this. Stay away. I was hoping we have a slight pullback and get in on a break. Starter position on maybe a break. Add to this break and then add to that break up there. But no. MACD rolled over. We got massive volume right there. I mean, we got support down here if you like playing off of supports. But for me, the MACD's rolled over. We got a 5-minute that's huge bearish candle. We have an engulfing candle right here at 950. So they played it again. They ran it up and then they sold it off. It looks like that's what they're trying to do again. Run it up, catch some people, and then just dump it down. That's kind of play they would like to do. OTRK. Pally is still showing up at 400,000 volume, but I'd stay away from that, to be honest. OTRK. That's not an A+ setup. There's nothing there on OTRK. If you're playing the low floaters, you got RNAZ of a score 5, RNZ. There's nothing there. There's no volume. I mean, you can see there's no volume. 849. That's why I think I need to update this the TZ score. I need to update this to only show the scores above 50,000 volume. Really all you need to do at 375. But see, look at 90 volume. If you look at USNA, there's nothing there. I mean, how can you play that? How can you grade that? There's nothing there. Like 694 volume. Are you kidding me? I mean, look at that volume. That's 3,000. Are you kidding me? No. Can't play that. Can't play that at all. T-Mobile kind of selling off a little bit, but hey, AT&T do kind of grinding. I made my money on that. Okay, so Google comes out at the Goog. The Goog comes out at 4:30 with earnings. The Goog is kind of selling, kind of grinding down, kind of selling off on the Goog. So we got Tesla, TSLA, I believe. Tesla. We got earnings on Tesla at 5:30. Let's see what the SPY's doing. SPY, yeah, we're kind of selling off on that. Yeah, we're kind of moving down a little bit. We got what is it, 10:30, 10:31. 10:30 we had crude oil inventories. Kind of negative on that. We got White House's Levitt speaks at 1 and then nothing. So we're good. Got Nvidia. Yeah, that was Google was putting in a 5-minute hammer. Got ABVX. ABVX kind of broke a little bit. EX could get up to 67.5. If you got in on the break at 65.25, you'd be looking for 67.75 up in here. But if you get to 67.5 and you're down, if you're in it down in here, you can get out at 67. 67 is a whole number. Whole numbers are pretty important. Whole numbers are pretty important. If it can't, yeah, there we go, 67. And it's a 25-cent spread. It's pretty big spread. 15-cent spread, 40, 30 cents. Yeah, so it's just kind of jumping around. It's ABVX RO. ERO. Nothing. We got CALM showed up on, it's the biggest mover is CALM. We got 64,000 volume. Get a break. Get a break of 125. It could possibly go 125. If it can break 125, I mean, that's good. Five-minute break of that. So go. 5. Get to 125 half. Yeah. So the volume is kind of heavy there. That's the problem. Broke that on light volume. In fact, these starting to crawl back up. In a 5-minute, you got higher lows there, higher highs, higher lows. Thing about common is 44 million float, traded 1 million shares, so it's a slow mover. Play was for that was right up in here. Had a nice run up. Then you had a slight pullback on low volume, and then a break of that of 121.20, and then came up here to 1.3. So yeah, that was a nice move right there. This is kind of hard. You just grinding, like just grinding. You get in on these moves early. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start looking. This is a 120-hour stock, so it's kind of hard to get on. We have Maze at 50,000 volume, but the problem with that is 50,000 volume, and we got OTRK. OTRK. I don't think there's any, and I don't think there was nothing there. Yeah, there's nothing. Well, it's actually selling off. So yeah, there is absolutely nothing there. MAZE. Been a while since that showed up, but there's nothing there. I wouldn't touch that. Would not touch that. We have COM. COM is slowly. COM is calm. Not moving. Yeah, 5-minute. Look at 5-minute down here. I mean, look at the daily. The daily, we moved from like 110. We got a $10 move on that. That is awesome. Okay, 125 and a half. 125.62 on the ask. We got a 38-cent spread. Pretty big. Got Maze OTRK. Oh, T-Mobile is out at 4:30. Google earnings out at 4:30, and Tesla at 5:30. I'm not going to touch Tesla. I just don't trade that. Maybe I might. I'm going to look at it. But 4:30 and 4:30. I'm going to be back at might live stream 4:30. Might start the live stream about 10 minutes before live stream the earnings. I want to play the SPY. 6:30 shares, like 63,000. Get in, got $15,000. Go in at 25 shares. Buy up to strong key. All right, I will be back at it 7 a.m. tomorrow. Go work on the scanner.